and welcome to Gatherings of Light with Eva and Cody Bryce. Ta-da!
Hello.
So we got a very special evening today because we are going to have a show with or a chat. I wouldn't say show, but a chat with geometric symbols, and it's going to be Cody who's taking the lead today because I can't pronounce the the things that we are going to talk about. So Cody, what are we going to talk about?
Yes, we'll be discussing the dodecahedron and the toroidal field, or torus, as that might be better or easier pronounced, torus. Um, there, the torus isn't specifically a geometric symbol, but it is connected to sacred geometry. The dodecahedron is the platonic solid, the last platonic solid that has a little bit more it's a little more interesting or different from the other platonic solids, and so it makes it fun to explore. I feel.
So why doesn't it count like a geometric symbol? You said in the torus doesn't.
Yeah, because it's constantly moving. It is it's a flow,
Oh.
you know, to where if you start from like a single point, it expands out, so it projects its energy out in kind of this vortex type of thing, and then spreads and comes into itself. So it's like a self-containing energy that is constantly feeding itself, and so it's a constant movement. Therefore, it can't be defined as a symbol, so to speak, because it's not solid, it's not stationary, it's in constant movement. You can draw it as a symbol, but it's not like a platonic solid or like the flower of life or anything like that. That tends to have a stationary, stuff.
So it has to
Yeah.
be like a physical or vertical lines, a shape, a specific shape. So when it's flow and moving, it's not a geometric symbol.
Yeah, there's still like mathematics to it, to where you can still like graph it, if you will. You can still have the math involved with it, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's a you know geometric symbol in itself, just because it is like almost alive, if you will. You can't really um, you can draw the symbol of it, but when you do that, it kind of just looks like a donut. It's, a donut, or just two spheres that look like they're just combined into one spot. And so there's more to it than just the what we would put in two-dimensional flat image, which most symbols are easier to put onto two-dimensional flat image.
I kind of get what you mean. The reason I reacted on what you said is like the Merkaba is a static figure, but when it moves, it gets to flow within it. So but
Yeah,
that is still a geometric symbol. So
yeah,
so the torus that you said is the more like the flowing version of the
yeah, like
physical.
Merhaba, or
Yeah.
yeah, the physical thing. Yeah, it's movement.
Mm.
And so it's kind of hard to fully draw it out, where you can, but it's how I view it. It's not as solid as the other ones. The Merkava can be quite solid with its it's kind of has the points, has the edges and stuff.
Mm. So these are the two things that we're going to talk about today. Which one do you want to start with?
We'll talk with the dodecahedron first. I think that one's the one that we can kind of cover uh, faster, if you will.
Mm.
Uh, and
I got
so,
the picture that you sent me. Do you want me to share something of those?
yeah, you could put up the one that has the platonic solids on it, with all the shapes, so we can just get the image. Um,
Let's see. Let me know when I get there.
you know, uh, that one right there.
That one.
Mhm, mhm. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, mhm. Yeah. So
So it's
dodecahedron.
the one
Yeah,
on
it's that
the
one.
right side here.
Yes, and so what makes it different from all the other ones is it's the only platonic solid that is made up of pentagram faces. The other platonic solids all have triangles, or squares. And so it's all made up of either triangles or squares. The dodecahedron is the only one that is different from them and has the pentagon shape for the faces.
Mm-hmm.
So it's quite unique into that one. Also, it has exactly 12 faces, and it is really associated with a lot of things because a lot of things in life have 12 kind of the repetition. There's a lot of things in life that go on 12s. One of them would be the zodiac sign. So a lot of people would contribute or associate dodecahedron with having the 12 faces of the zodiac. And so it's connected to astrology, universe, energies, all that kind of stuff.
So what exactly does this symbol means? Because it's like the five corners, the pentagon, and you have this symbol of the pentagon that we are thinking of when we are thinking pentagon. We are thinking of pentagon in the States. So
yes, the five sides, and it's just 12 faces of that five sides. But it's with each of the platonic solids, there's an element that's associated with it. The dodecahedron is associated with ether. It's more energetic. It's more kind of high vibrational, if you will. And so therefore it has a little bit more like, I don't know, not connection, but it seems a bit more sacred because it is an energy that is kind of unseen, kind of deals with the higher vibrational, if you will, or higher dimension, multidimensional type of aspects of the sacred geometry and just spirituality in general.
It's kind of interesting because do we know why Pentagon choose this symbol for or shape for the buildings?
Yeah, I think it kind of was a structural thing. Well, a lot of the buildings and stuff, especially in the Washington D.C., is based off of what are they called? Masonic, not Masonic. Can't believe I forgot their name. Masons. That's what I was going to say. It's the Freemasons and all that type of stuff. George Washington and all of them kind of Freemasons. And the person that designed Washington, kind of the streets layouts and all, where the different landmarks, if you will, all kind of revolve around like sacred geometry. It's all based around these type of symbols, and so it was kind of almost like a no-brainer for them to integrate those symbols into their different buildings. The pentagon itself is more military based, and therefore it's kind of a solid symbol. It kind of has protection on every side. There's no real vulnerability to it. It still got hit by a plane, but whatever.
Tragically enough.
Exactly. But it's just kind of a strong symbol that they wanted to do. I'm not sure the exact history of it, but it kind of seems like the logical thing.
Yeah, and that is the logical thing. But I like to go into my mind because when you said high vibration and unseen, I was kind of thinking about what all these conspiration theories about the extraterrestrial and the military programs with the alien programs. So that is high vibration and unseen. So to me, that was kind of interesting when you said it because I listening. David Wilcock has woke up right now. He has the one show after the other, and this Sunday, I think it was a Sunday, I saw the replay yesterday, and he was talking about the military program and the aliens. So that was kind of a wake up call again. So when you started to talk about the Pentagon shape here, or the five sides, I couldn't stop thinking about the connections there. Unseen aliens, and
Mhm.
there has to be something more connected to
Yeah.
it. Mm.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be the threads that are connected each other to it. But definitely when you watch something like that, it kind of sticks in your mind, and therefore
Mm.
you kind of want to go back to it, or kind of it pops up when you talk about that type of stuff. But yeah, the pentagram and dodecahedron are just kind of high spiritual. They're kind of sacred. They were very coveted back in the beginning. Like the platonic solids have been discussed for over 2,000 years. You know, they're kind of well known in the math and sacred geometry and all that stuff sector. You know, the sciences, the thinkers, the philosophers, all of them have pondered the platonic solids for a while.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
and the dodecahedron was definitely one of the more sacred ones. And even in some schools, like mystery schools in Egypt or Greece and Greek, mystery schools and stuff, the dodecahedron was so uh, sacred and secret, if you will, that if you were to speak its name outside of the classrooms or whatever, if you will, you literally would be executed. It was so revered that you couldn't really speak its name outside of a specific, closed group of people, So it was kind of hidden for a while, if you will.
Do we know why?
Well, because of how, because the connection with ether, because it's connected to higher vibrational frequencies and the ability to access those frequencies. When you
Mm.
are meditating on all these platonic solids and the elements that are connected with it, you get closer and more, you resonate more with those elements, and so for them to be meditating on the dodecahedron, they get closer and closer to the unseen and to those higher vibrational frequencies that they can now utilize better.
So they wanted to keep the power to the priesthood, so to speak.
Yeah, it's kind of keeping the power, making sure that it doesn't get into the wrong hands, if you will. And
Yeah.
also, it's kind of I would say there's a little bit of ego in that as well, to where I know there's probably more, higher thinking stuff, but I think there's a little bit of ego of like saying, oh, I have something, I know something that you're not allowed to know, and it's kind of that little bit of like ego boost of, oh, I'm a little bit special.
Yeah,
But I'm
ego
sure,
pose, and it's definitely a power symbol
yes,
because when
yeah.
you're holding the knowledge and doesn't share it free, share it
You're free.
and saying that you will be executed if you are pronouncing its name. You want to keep that information and you want to keep that power to yourself, and that is a way to control people, and it has been for a long time. So you see, we are going to draw the connection back to the shape of
Yes,
the
yeah,
pentagon once again.
thinking, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that is the
Mm-hmm.
philosophic thoughts that we are having
Mm-hmm.
around the
Mm-hmm.
dodecahedron.
Yeah, and even it like when you have the Merkaba, was it Metatron's cube, you can see all the platonic solids in them kind of fairly easily. If you go to the other symbol that is more black and white, it has more symbols on it. Um, that can
Let's
kind of
see here.
describe it more. Yeah,
Let's see that
right.
one.
Yes, that one. So this kind of shows the different platonic solids that would be in Metatron's cube. At the very top of it is the flower of life, which, breaking down would give the Metatron's cube. And so you can kind of see each of the platonic solids, the cube, triangle, our tetrahedron, isosahedron, all that stuff. But at the very bottom of it, that's where you get to see the dodecahedron, but it's hard to see that within just the normal like viewing. You kind of have to do a little bit of steps to get those like angles kind of to really view it. And so it's a little bit more hidden than the other ones. The other ones are a bit more obvious, the cube and the saucehedron and all that stuff.
Now that you have mentioned it, I can actually see that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So that is kind of a lot of information, and still there is or still, yet there's not enough information, because it feels like there is so much more to this symbol, more than we can, put words to.
Oh yeah, definitely a perfect example, or not perfect example, but the Roman dodecahedron is there's basically an object that archaeologists, the people that dig up sites, all that stuff, they found this object in Rome, or in Italy or something like that, Roman times, that was a dodecahedron with spheres on each of the edges. And to this day, they don't know what that was used for, why it was there, what's the significance of it, because it seemed fairly, solid, well built, protected even. And so, they were kind of, it's still a mystery of what the purpose of that object is. And so, even within physical objects and architecture and archaeology, that's the word, there's mysteries within it. But there's even more mysteries within the symbol itself, and so it gets kind of complicated, and a lot more hidden within it. Even now, we've been talking about the platonic solids or people have been talking about the platonic solids for over 2,000 plus years, and there's still stuff being found out about them to this day. And one of them is more math based. A lot of mathematicians are diving deeper into it and stuff like that. One really fun way of thinking about it is if you were to live on a platonic solid, how does that look? If you put a house on every single corner of the dodecahedron, what's the best route to get from one place to the other? If you wanted to do a classic thought experiment or kind of mathematical problem of the loner jogger or whatever, it's kind of the lonely jogger, is if you go from one point, what's the best route or the optimal route to get from there and not pass any other corner or other house, which would be on each of the things. So you have to go from one corner, go all the way around in a perfect line, and not touch any of the other ones. And so there's kind of fun thought experiments with, the best way to do that and such. It's fun.
Oh, fun and interesting.
Yes,
so,
yeah.
You were saying earlier that there was this Greek symbol and the other kind of symbol. So they are different in shapes, even though they are what we're now talking about.
Platonic solids. Yeah, platonic solids. Yeah, there's different aspects to it, versions, or if you will, but all that stuff. There's even the thought process of the symbols that are breathing in and out. And so, like, if you were to take the dodecahedron and it was to breathe out, so it expands, it basically almost creates a perfect sphere, and a lot of mathematicians and stuff like that will take the different platonic solids, and if they are to expand them out, they all basically create perfect spheres, depending on how you blow it out, if you will. Then breathing in, it creates this other kind of interesting symbol of more, not sure exactly how to describe it, but it's like all the faces are concave perfectly into the center of where the perfect center would be in the dodecahedron, and it creates more of like energetic flow within the symbol itself. And there's this, it gets more complicated, more math based, and so I don't really have the full knowledge to be able to explain it perfectly.
It's almost like a tuning fork.
Yeah, it goes back. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. So once again, we have the physical building pentagon. We have this etherical symbol of the dodecahedron that is etheric and higher vibration. Could it be like there are a portal shaped constellation to it?
Portal shaped. I'm not sure. Well, I've definitely seen
Yeah.
I've seen it in crop circles and all that stuff, which kind of act as like energetic portals, if you will. Um, but yeah, dodecahedron probably could be used for, well, it's actually used in architecture as well. It's a very strong symbol, like I told you before, and it is used within different architecture with how they kind of unfold. I guess there's certain ways that you can unfold the dodecahedron and kind of move it in a certain way that makes it stronger for like building like a bridge or something like that. It kind of gets even force around the whole thing, kind of like the arch. The arch is kind of an optical thing to use for building, but this is a bit stronger than the arch, depending on how you're folding it and using it. So yeah, there's a lot to it, but yeah.
Oh, so in a way, it is a portal. It's a gateway.
Oh yeah, definitely, and especially when you're spinning it up, kind of like how the you know Merkaba, you spin it, stuff like that. It becomes kind of something different beyond just the image.
Interesting. So the next shape that we're going to talk about is the
Yeah,
toroidal.
yeah, toroidal field or torus, um, and that one is quite interesting to where from the smallest to the biggest, there's a toroidal field around that object. Basically, all things have some type of toroidal field. Basically, like the Merkaba, most living things have that around it.
So let's
Yes,
open up these
that's a good one.
pictures that you have sent. This
Yeah,
one?
that's a good one. Yeah,
Hmm?
because it shows the sacred geometry under the kind of it's more not graphical artistic, so it's not like there's an actual, Metatron's cube below each toroidal field, but it shows a good image of a human being within the toroidal field to where it is, projecting out from the heart and goes up and then comes back down from the feet. And it is a constant loop of energy that is going and going. And it kind of projects out from the heart itself. So every heartbeat that you have,
Mm-hmm.
that energy pulsates out in a perfect sphere because it is built on of the toroidal field. The toroidal field is basically an electromagnetic, uh, you know, North Pole, South Pole. It kind of, it comes together, and so it is kind of, it makes a perfect sphere when you kind of put it within it. It's hard to explain that one, but basically, once your heart is, projecting that out, it reaches, you know, everybody on Earth. There's no real end to that pulse, and so that's how we're like connected to everything and everyone is that we are pulsating these toroidal fields out and connecting to other toroidal fields constantly. So we're constantly in each other's field, right? And you can, take energy from it. You can give energy from the toroidal field, and so it's a bridge, especially just with it for humans. It's a bridge between each other. We connect to each other through basically the toroidal field.
So this is like a personal matrix.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
And you can also
And
call it your I am presence because you hold all
mm-hmm,
the information in your own energetic field. And that is
yep,
why you are able to connect with other I am presence, the other energetic fields that surrounds other
mm-hmm,
people.
yep, definitely, yeah. And it's not just to humans because it goes all the way down to atoms, where the atoms have toroidal fields, all the way up to galaxies that have
Yeah.
toroidal fields. And so even a galaxy itself basically is doing the same thing that a human is doing, where it's basically pulsating out. Yeah, it's a good symbol of Earth itself. Earth's magnetic field is a toroidal field. It's a torus, and it has the north and south poles, and it interacts with the sun's toroidal field and all that stuff. So it's all connected with these energetic flow. You know, and it's a very interesting. I think galaxies have a double toroidal field, to where it's there's an image in there that shows um, basically. I think it's at the very end, maybe. Yeah, if you're zoom in on that, in the very middle is a galaxy, and so it has basically this double
Oh,
toroidal field that comes onto each other, and that's why most galaxies are in a disk shape. They kind of spin out in the disk shape because that's how the energies are being forced. That's how the energies are being moved.
wow.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's very interesting. It's also like that image would map perfectly over Earth's was it climate, and like how wind circulates and the movements. That's kind of like the north and south hemispheres. In it's kind of weird with like hurricanes and stuff like that. They don't move past the equator. They don't move past a certain line on Earth, and so it's always within its own hemisphere. And so that's kind of a good image on if you put it onto Earth, to where there's a top hemisphere, bottom hemisphere, and it only cycles within that one. So that's a pretty cool aspect of it.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
is. I was looking at this picture before, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a different picture, and
Yeah.
I couldn't quite grasp it when I was looking
Mm-hmm.
at it because it's a
Mm-hmm.
bit um,
Complicated.
I don't know what to say about it. It's not a attractive picture, but
Yeah, yeah, it's not easy to look at. Yeah, or easy
no.
to figure out. Yeah,
But
yeah.
now that you are talking about it, it actually starts to move because when you
Mm-hmm.
are enhance the picture and looking at the structure, it actually starts to move.
Yeah,
It's
right. It's
like
almost like
the
an optical
optical
illusion.
illusion.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, exactly. Yeah, especially if you kind of like move your head with it too. You're kind of like, you're going back and forth into it. It seems like those lines are kind of like shifting, like,
Yeah, definitely. And so this is good, as you say, hold the galaxy, so it's
mhm,
connecting to other galaxies out there. So
mhm,
if a galaxy should implode,
mhm,
the energy will be drawn within, but all these
mhm,
energies that are in
mhm.
this movement just need to start other galaxies. It seems like
Mhm.
the implosion would generate multiple new galaxies.
Yes, yeah.
It's a
Well,
very
it's kind of, yeah.
forceful it's a lot of power in this image.
Oh yes, definitely. Yeah, it doesn't want to stop, if you want to put it that way. It's a self-feeding system, if you will, and so it doesn't want to stop or pause or slow down or anything like that. It just wants to go, go, go. And so when it is an implosion type of thing, those two sides basically come together, and there's so much energy that it closes in on itself and truly implodes. Yeah.
Oh, so this is the Big Bang.
Yeah, basically, yeah, you can kind of, yeah, sort of, yeah.
It's interesting. It's interesting because as I said, it was first when I was looking at that picture, I didn't thought it looked like a lot, kind of
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
messy, pretty
mm-hmm,
simple drawing. But now that we have been looking at it, I can't get enough of it,
yeah,
and it just wants to get me more involved energetically within it.
mm-hmm,
It's activating something that is interesting. I need to go back to this picture. Let's see if we can um, open up this one
mm-hmm.
because this has a dodecahedron on the bottom.
Yes, yeah, yeah, because that's within the Metatron's cube, and so you'll see the
Mm-hmm.
dodecahedron within the two-dimensional version because it's kind of flat, but it would expand up from that, and the dodecahedron would be enclosing you. You'd be in the center of that dodecahedron.
Mm,
Yeah.
that is beautiful. So, and here is the atom we
Mhm.
were talking about.
Yeah, it's basically like the atoms kind of move in that kind of circular, like it's kind of a classic atom picture with the dot and those going around it, but it's in a torus. It's how it's kind of contained within itself. There's gravity and all this other stuff to it, but it's electromagnetic gravity field. That's kind of what the torus is. Kind of
Yeah.
contains the energy, and it kind of just puts the human there because we act as an atom as well. We are kind of an energetic center as well. But, yeah.
I was kind of
Yeah.
wondering if you didn't send me another picture
Yeah, I think there's.
too, but I can't find it. It's not there. Maybe I didn't got it downloaded here. Is this other symbol of the Vesca pieces? What do you call it?
Atomic
Like
symbol.
the two
Oh,
central figures with
gotcha. Yeah, Becca's Pisces, Becca Pisces or whatever. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can't even pronounce that one. So yeah, Becca's Pisces.
well, the
Yeah, yeah,
dodecahedron is starting to settle into my brain right now, but the other
yeah.
symbol has
Mm-hmm.
messy names. So stop sharing that. So yeah, that is the field, the magnetic field that are embracing Earth, every living organism throughout the universe.
Mm-hmm.
So this so-called energetic field that we are connecting with each other, and we can upload us to the Earth's field if you want to
Mm-hmm.
talk. It's the same field that everybody is the birds are navigating through these magnetic fields and so
Mm-hmm.
on, so you can expand that. So in it's kind of possible to do a meditation to or contemplation to interact with other energies outside
Mm-hmm.
this, like follow the threads, or how
Mm-hmm.
how would you look upon that?
Yeah, basically it'd be getting a very solid image in your mind of the toroidal field going around you, the torus, and really tapping into the energy to like really feel the fluidity, the movement that is actually going through the body. When you sense the energies, the kind of frequencies and stuff like that, you can kind of start feeling like as if you're connecting with your chakras. The chakras are basically another aspect of the toroidal field that's divided up into each other. But when you feel it, it will kind of feel like it's just going up and spreading out. But the pictures are kind of deceiving, if you will, because the toroidal field around humans and around most things are a lot bigger than what it shows. And so your toroidal field will probably encompass like 100 yards, full football field. And then that's just kind of the first layer of it. Once you get further out, you have multiple layers of those toroidal fields, and it can go for miles. Like your energy, depending on how much energy you have, how much vibrational frequency you have within you, it can be quite huge. And if you're depressed or sad or something like that, your toroidal field does kind of shrink. If you're happy and exuberant, your energy spans out. And so it's kind of that where you can feel someone walking into the room and you can feel their energy. It's that type of thing. Their toroidal field is just on, not overload, but it's expanded out. And if others, you kind of feel sad, with them,
Yeah.
and so that's you connecting with their toroidal field, and then with that you can also affect their toroidal field with yours. If you're exuberant, you can help the sad person and all that stuff. So
I kind of got different pictures and different
mhm,
meanings to this one, because I did see this entering the room connection, feeling the energy when someone is entering the room, or if you are
mhm,
entering the room.
mhm,
So that was one of the pictures. But I also got like every human being with their field around them are like the Tesla pillar of invisible energy connecting
mhm,
the dot. And I kind of asked myself, is that energy that we are together, you know, emitting. I wonder if we could use that energy, you know, lighting up. We do that when we are meditating, but if you could use that energy in some other way, you're following me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, we are batteries, basically,
Yeah, well,
when you think
basically,
about it.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, you
Tesla
know,
batteries.
yeah, well, the whole premise of the Matrix movies, they're
Yeah.
using humans as a battery source. And that's the same thing. We could use our energy, but we wouldn't be, isolated into some pod thing, But, we can actually use our energy to affect others, turn, on lights on, stuff like that. And, it's a lot of the extraterrestrials and other civilizations have utilized that within their energy matrix system, their toroidal field. They often will use different type of crystals to activate certain technologies and stuff like that, because it's easier to tap in with the crystal, since it's so solid and resonant with its frequency, that it's easier to uh, utilize them. And so, yeah, it's totally possible for us to be that, giant tower that Tesla made, and have free energy based on humans alone. We can, yeah.
I
So,
didn't do the connection to the Matrix movie when we are
mm,
used as batteries,
yeah, yeah,
but when you
mm,
put it like that, no, it's not so interesting anymore. But
yeah,
yeah, it's kind of fun on playing with the thoughts of how that would actually be theoretically possible to use. That's
mm,
interesting. We are certainly moving into new energies or new times where we are looking into how renew energies in different ways, in ways that we haven't explored yet. So kind of interesting.
yeah. And we already have basically an effect on it. We're just not using it for energy, but like different things, if how your frequency is, will affect different living beings around you. Plants, if you're growing plants or something like that, your energy will affect the plants. It's even been experiments done with yogurt, bacterial yogurt and stuff like that, where the person has a specific frequency that they're putting into the yogurt, and the bacteria within the yogurt and stuff like that reacts to you, and it's either dies off or expands out, gets healthier, gets unhealthy. We truly have an effect on everything around us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and another thing I want to go back to this image of the Earth with this field around itself, and it also is used as a shield towards like the not so healthy radiate radiate
Radiation, yeah,
yeah
yeah,
from the
the
sun and everything. Yeah, so if
yeah,
we are using this field, we can use it as positive, get in touch, to meditate, connect with others, and embrace the world, so to speak. We can also use it to protect ourselves, and the earth can protect itself and its inhabitants with a field. So that's kind of
yeah,
interesting. I didn't thought of that before.
yes. Yeah, it can be the connector, but it can also be the barrier, and
Oh.
so people that want to isolate themselves will use it more as that shield, so that they don't allow any of that energy in. You know, so yeah, it is kind of can be positive or it can be negative, depending on how you use it.
Mm. So if you're not aware of your magnetic field and how to use it, you can actually be easy manipulated by other entities.
Yes, very much. Yeah, because if you don't know that you're, completely wide open type of thing,
Mm.
then those energies are going to be freely flowing within you, and it's going to be affecting your toroidal field, your energies, your emotional state, your physical state, mental, all that stuff. It gets affected by it.
So
As we
that
can
could be
also have the opposite.
a
Mm,
reason that so many extraterrestrial groups are so interested in what we are doing here on Earth, and wants to be the
mm,
the power holder, the grid holders, or dominating race over us.
Yes. Yes, because we are very much easily manipulated. But,
Yeah. Yeah, especially when you don't know how to protect yourself from someone who's already exploring those energies. Oh,
very
interesting.
much.
Wow, what can you tell us more, Cody?
Yes, yeah. Well, also there can be the negative rays that are trying to take control, but there's also the positive rays that sees our potential and that we can develop into one of the most strongest races if we really get into it, because you know we have such an ability for creativity, we have such an ability for expansion, that they want to nurture that ability and help us, with being able to protect ourselves from the negative, and also while expanding at the same time, so that we're not trying too hard to protect and we just slow ourselves down by staying so solid, within us. So it's an expansion while being protected is kind of the what they're going for, or what we're going for, really. But
Interesting.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what do you have in store for us? Because I don't think that we have so much more to add to these symbolic shapes,
Yeah.
or do you have something special lined up for us that you haven't got a chance to talk about?
I don't know, it's just kind of it's not really that big. I was just kind of going to reiterate that it's from the smallest to the biggest, you will always find the toroidal field of Taurus. And so making sure that you have the awareness that even if something doesn't look like it's a living being, it is, like the earth doesn't seem too much like a living being, if you will, but it very much is. The sun doesn't seem like a living being, but it has a toroidal field, it has a torus around it, it is a living being. Same
Mm-hmm.
goes for galaxies. And so there's basically different levels of living beings. It just doesn't go within the definition, so to speak, that most humans think of as a living being. Crystals, rocks, all that stuff, they're living beings. And so, yeah, it is much more to life than just humans, I should say.
Oh, definitely. I do know that you doesn't watch too many shows on internet, and you might not be a big David Wilcock fan, but I enjoy looking at his show because I think he has a lot of fun to share, and a lot of good stuff too. And he showed us a um, slide on a slideshow here,
Mm-hmm.
and the Earth was, they had this dialing number to enter Earth's atmosphere, like in Stargate, the
Oh,
movie
yes,
Stargate.
yeah,
Yeah,
Stargate, yeah, that was
yeah, and
cool.
we do
Yeah.
know how they are,
Mm-hmm.
pushing in the buttons to get to different
Yeah.
levels and different planets,
Yeah.
and Earth actually has its own dial number. I so
Yes.
enjoyed. We actually had a 606 in the end, which means that there are 605 other planets in our
Mm-hmm.
galaxy around Earth.
Mm-hmm.
So we are the
Mm-hmm.
number 606. And we have the 24th, what do they call it? Like in the outer section of the Milky Way, our
Oh,
galaxy.
gotcha.
We are
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
sector 24. So
Gotcha.
that's kind of interesting. So if we wanted to go
Yes.
to some other place, we just have to use the three last digits to move there. So any
Yeah.
place below
Mm-hmm.
606 we can go to because 606 is
Exactly.
here. Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting and fun.
Yeah.
We need to
Yeah. It's
explore that
definitely
more.
cool. Yeah, it's basically just like a grid that's been, mapped out with different galaxies and planets and all that type of stuff. And you just, dial up. It's, you
Yeah.
punch in the code. That's pretty cool.
So I
Yeah.
definitely need to explore that. I'm going to do a
Mm-hmm.
meditation on my
Mm-hmm.
own, connecting
Mm-hmm.
you and see what it's taking me, and see if I can do get some
Mm-hmm.
energetic print of it, what it is. But
Mm-hmm.
that will be for a day
Mm-hmm.
when I'm in the mood for that. So
Mm-hmm.
back to you, Cody.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's much more that, could be said, but I think we kind of covered like the basics of it, kind of the overall, and made the strong points and kind of the not important as important points, but kind of the the main stuff that we could talk about. I think we kind of covered fairly well. I know there's much more that I probably was thinking about covering, but of course, whenever we get on, my mind goes blank, and I just go with whatever is coming through. So yeah, that's that.
So there's nothing just crawling back, reaching up its hand and say, "I want to be shared." No,
Yeah.
no kind of information there. No.
I am trying to get it, but no, exactly. It's the only thing I'm thinking, or not, the only thing I'm getting is to move on to the crystal healing. So it's kind of like, oh, we're done.
Yeah. Well, it kind of felt like we were done. So yeah. But you do have a crystal meditation for us.
Yes. Yeah. Oh shit. Okay. Sorry. Someone's at my door.
Yeah.
1 second.
Say hi. Hi to the world. Yeah, go. And that is what happens when we are live. We can't control what's going on. But in his field, there was someone there, and physically, and snapping up what we were talking about. So that's fun. That's fun. So next week or within 2 weeks, we are going live talking about some other geometric symbols. I don't know which symbol Cody wants to talk about, but I'm sure he has something in his mind that he's going to share with us. And he's back. Cody has entered the room, like Elvis has left the building. But I can't hear you. Nope.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, there you are.
Sorry. I guess I muted myself. Okay.
So
sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just had a doctor's appointment at 3, but my great aunt that drives me thought it was at 1, and so she was like, "Oh, you ready?" I was like, "No, it's at 3." Like I have a couple hours, and I'm kind of doing something right now. So
yeah, that's totally fine. Before we enter the meditation, what are we going to talk about within 2 weeks? The next time we get together.
Um. Yeah, I'm not sure. And there's nothing really popping in that says that we need to be talking about it. I don't know. We could be talking about, it's I don't know, it's not really on the sacred geometry type thing, but talking about grids and the connections and all that stuff. We could talk about Christ conscious grid, the grids around Earth, different vortexal points. Yeah, like grids, points, different galaxies and all that stuff.
Yeah, we can definitely do that.
Yeah, there's just nothing like really like screaming out at something. So maybe later on it might come to me, and I will message you to see this is what we should talk about.
Yeah, we as you notice, we did not have a plan. We did know that we were going to talk about the geometric symbols, and now we have. So we are moving into the next because we are not leaving the screen. We are going to get back together and sharing information about a good stuff and a lot of interesting stuff. At least they are interesting to us.
Yeah, she's nice. Okay, sorry, she's back.
Well, time flies.
Are you online?
Yeah, I'm doing it soon.
Oh, I'm sorry. As soon as you're done, let's go grocery shopping. Get that out of the way.
Oh, I love that.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's totally fine. That's life, and she's caring about you. So that's lovely, lovely to see.
Yeah.
We need more of those energies around the world.
Yes,
I
yeah.
love the way she asks if, "Are you all right?"
Yeah, right.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the grid could definitely be something to talk about because that is also connected to the magnetic fields, and when it's connected, there is always a geometric symbols connected to that too. So we could start with the grids and see what follows in that direction.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But
Right.
now we are going to do a meditation, and I saw you had your crystal ready there.
Yes, yeah. I was gonna do just the clear, clear crystal quartz or crystal sphere, I should say.
Yeah.
I thought it's a good one because it's we're talking about a little bit more higher vibrational stuff, toroidal fields and stuff, and it seems like a good clear crystal is good for the movement and flowing and high vibrational stuff. So I thought this was a good one. Yeah. Okay, so I'll be sending some energy over to you guys. If you haven't done this before, anything, basically, if you're wanting the energy, just verbally or mentally say you accept the energy. If you don't, just say you don't, and it won't touch you, it won't get to you. But yeah, so I'll start sending the energy over. Okay. Closing up.
That was interesting, Cody. I didn't feel like I went specifically deep within this meditation, but I definitely got it energetically in my chest, lower heart region and down to the not solar plexus, but somewhere in between the heart and solar plexus energy. So that was kind of interesting. And that set off a chain reaction within my thoughts. It's popping into this COVID that has entered the building once again. So and it doesn't have anything to do with that, but that is the region there. And it took me into this magnetic field that we were talking about, and how the infusion of DNA and energetic DNA blueprints are altered, and how they are affecting the upgrades, and almost controlling the events, energy events. Well, they're using our fields to alter the blueprints. They can affect us in so many different ways, both good and bad. Of course, we mentioned it before, but definitely DNA blueprint. That was something that popped up in my mind. So what do you say about that?
Yeah, I think that's actually a really good topic for tomorrow, like, or for the next time, of talking about how energetic fields can rewrite your genetic code. You know, how it can affect your DNA, it can change the outcome of your life. You know, and so yeah, I can talk about the good stuff and kind of the not so good within that topic, and it also is within the same kind of genre or space as grids, because the grids itself can affect you, and energies affect the grids that will affect you, which would affect your DNA. And so it's a kind of chain reaction there. And so it's the opposite. You know, your DNA will affect the energies of the grids, which will affect other energies. And so yeah, it's a good one. Yeah.
So we have a topic, definitely, and we got it from the universe itself. They just provide in the topic through Cody Bryce magic meditation. Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect, actually. So that will be a very, very good topic, and probably something that we need to talk about, how we are opening up our energy fields, how Mother Earth is open up her energy field to the influences from other realities or entities, worlds, or whatever we want to do. Well, that is amazing. So yeah, definitely. Do you have anything else you want to add to that?
Well, I was just going to say, when we were doing, you know, when I was sending the energy, I usually don't get much imagery or a bunch of anything. It's usually just the tunnel of when I'm going to be ending the thing. But this time I got colors, and you're talking about the lower heart and upper sacral, and it was basically those colors of the green and kind of orangish yellow kind of thing that was kind of just flashing in between. So it was very active. It wasn't really solid. It was just kind of flashing green and stuff. So interesting that I saw those colors, and then it was actually affecting the chakras or the spaces within that body.
Yeah, it felt it was a very strong meditation in the physical body. I didn't went deep in my mind, but in the physical body, it happened a lot. It was a tremendous hit in the chest, or the lower heart region. So that is a verification that you actually got these colors too, because there is something that are going to work in that region for those who are taking this meditation. So that is blissful. Thank you, Cody.
Yes, no problem. And I kind of felt like that one could go on for a lot longer, but it was kind of saying like, yeah, you got stuff to do. I'll kind of cut it off here, you know, type of things. It was like, it was almost free. Was it not free level? It basically just didn't want to stop, but it was like, fine, I'll stop, you know. So
kind of but could that be why I got this thoughts in my head too, about the upgrades that can be used energetically through our magnetic fields? So this could be an activation that you just did that is going to work for a lot of people that we are getting in touch with, because the energy is popping from human to human when we're interacting in, connecting the dots.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, when you're just even walking around, your energy is going to be affecting others, and you might not even know that you've just, put some, activation key into another person that you're just walking by. You don't even talk to them or anything like that. They just tap into your toroidal field, you tap into theirs, and either higher consciously or it just knows it needs some type of energy or some type of frequency that you have, and therefore it takes it, not like takes it, but copies it, if you will, over, so that it can have that energy. So yeah, we're constantly doing that all the time, and most people are completely unconscious of it, don't even know it's happening.
Interesting. That is it's going to be so fun to see if we get any reactions to the next time we get together. If someone will, do us the honor and actually respond to how this conversation has affected them. I do know that we have some comment on YouTube and it gets to the Facebook groups too, but it could be interesting to know if someone is actually feeling these energies that we've been in touch with right now. Otherwise, we will pick it up in 2 weeks.
Yep.
So, well, thank you everyone who's been listening and will be listening to this one. This was Cody Bryce. Yeah, and myself. We were talking about
dodecahedron and toroidal field, or torus.
Yeah. And the next time we will be talking about
frequencies, DNA change, and the connection with grids.
Perfectly. So thank you for being here and watching the program with us, and we will see you within 2 weeks. Take care. Lots of love. Bye.